Winner, winner, you're getting some new spring chicken dinners. Spring and summer are a time for lighter dishes, so I'm lightening and brightening it up today with some all new, over-the-top flavorful chicken dishes. We're starting off with these pesto chicken bowls, and these are a super easy and full of flavor weeknight dinner. I just love that they're full of vegetables and just overall amazing. I am starting off with my favorite chicken breasts. These are the Good Chop boneless skinless chicken breasts, and Good Chop is actually the sponsor of today's video, and I will talk a little bit more about them later. And I'm just going to marinate these chicken breasts. I have 4 here in some store-bought pesto. If you have your fresh or your own recipe that you absolutely love, go ahead and use it. I know a lot of people grow basil in the spring and summer, so have at it. But I find that the store-bought stuff is quite delicious, and you can even actually get it at Dollar Tree too. And I've really enjoyed that brand as well. So whatever type of pesto you want to use, you can just marinate those chicken breasts in it. I put mine in the fridge for about an hour, and you could do more or you could do less. You're just going to give it a little bit of flavor to put it on the grill. Now, off to the side, I cut off the bottom of these asparagus, and then I'm just going to marinate them in this container. I normally would actually use like a bag holder and a Ziploc bag, but I was all out of Ziplocs. So we've got about a couple tablespoons of olive oil, about a half a teaspoon of salt, quarter teaspoon of black pepper, and a teaspoon of garlic powder. And I'm noticing, I'm like, my floor is not that clean, but I have 3 kids, and so that's life. And if you also are a person that's like, my floor isn't that clean all the time, it's okay. It's really not a big deal. And then you just want the juice of half a lemon. And if you had like the lemon juice in the fridge, that would work too. And then you just want to give that a good mix and pop that in the fridge as well. So you could do this like before work in the morning. You could do it right when you get home and just set it aside. It's not a huge deal for like how long it actually marinates, but you just want to get some of the flavor on there. And then I'm just making up some basmati rice according to package instructions. I found that I've actually really been enjoying basmati more than like instant rice or regular, because regular takes too long. And I also made up a bunch of it because I was going to do something with rice the next day. So, always just be thinking about what you're going to do in the following days, because sometimes you can just help yourself out by making a bunch of one thing ahead of time. And then for the chicken, I'm just grilling this for about 4 minutes on each side. It's going to depend on the size of your chicken breasts. These are like perfect. They're so much better than the grocery store because they don't have like all that fat on them. They're really just delicious. And so my basmati rice cooked up just fine. And you can see I had a lot of it. So more than I needed for this event, but it was perfect. And then right before flipping the chicken, I just added in the asparagus, and that only takes about 4 to 5 minutes on the grill to cook up perfectly. It's going to depend on how you like your asparagus. So you may want your asparagus to be like more cooked. I like mine like a little bit still crispy, like it turns that bright green color. I think that that's just perfect. And then while that was cooking, I just diced up a few tomatoes. This is going to be up to you. Like my family's not a big tomato fan for whatever crazy reason, because I love tomatoes. So I just sliced those cherry tomatoes in half, and those are going to go perfectly in this bowl. And then just to assemble the bowls, you want to do some rice, however much you like. And then my little pro tip, I've been trying to get more veggies in lately, is to actually add like half cauliflower rice. I find that if I do full cauliflower rice, you can definitely tell. But when you do half cauliflower, you don't even notice, and you're just automatically getting extra veggies. So totally worth it. And then just add as many tomatoes as you like. You'll notice I don't put any in my husband's because he does not like cherry tomatoes. Again, crazy. And then slice up your chicken and your asparagus into kind of smaller bite-sized pieces. And then just put that chicken and asparagus in the bowl. And then what we're going to do for the pesto is just put like 3 tablespoons in a bowl. You can put as much or as little as you like. And then just add a little water to it just to thin it out. Because that big like thick pesto like that doesn't work very well. It's like a drizzle or a dressing. But you really just need to add water, and it drizzles quite well, and you still get all the flavor. So it makes these beautiful bowls. And this is actually really delicious, really healthy. And Julian, my 6-year-old, you guys are always like, your kids like everything you make. Well, it's not exactly true, because if I was going to I'm not going to put them on camera and be like, that's disgusting. It does happen. I always like the food, and you always like the food, but the kids are, anyway, not that they ever say that. I digress. He doesn't like asparagus, and he was like, this asparagus is actually really good. So I thought that that was a win on this one, and we'll definitely be having these again. So next up, we're making BBQ Chicken Tacos, and I was inspired to make these by Half Baked Harvest. She definitely has a similar recipe on her website, but of course I had to Maria-ify it and just like make it easier. So I've got about 4 chicken breasts in the crock pot, and then I'm putting about a half a cup of my favorite barbecue sauce. So this is the simplifying version where I'm just going to do the chicken and shred it up in the crock pot, and I'm just going to use store-bought barbecue sauce. I'm using the Primal Kitchen, but use what you like. It's going to taste good anyway. And then we'll zhuzh it up later by adding some different spices to it and whatnot. And then while this cooks in the crock pot you can do 2 hours on high or 4 hours on low, I'm going to tell you about the sponsor of our video, Good Chop. Thank you so much, Good Chop, for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so honestly, it's a bit of a fake unboxing right there because I actually went to Newport with my mom and my sister. We had so much fun, Newport, Rhode Island. And my husband received the Good Chop box and took everything out. He even made bacon wrapped scallops with the bacon and scallops, which I was like, he doesn't make me bacon wrapped scallops, but Good Chop box arrives and here we go. They looked really good. But here's the thing, I love having Good Chop in my freezer. All of the fish and the meat from Good Chop is from American Fisheries and Farmers. Good Chop has over 60 different cuts of meat to choose from, so there's something for everyone. Good Chop carries my absolute favorite ribeye steak. It's always between this and the New York strip. I like to switch it in and out, but both are fantastic. Getting high quality meats delivered straight to my doorstep has been a total game changer for me. I've worked with Good Chop for probably a year now, and I am still obsessed with every single package that I receive from them. So not that you'd have to worry about this, but Good Chop also has a 100% money back guarantee. Love Good Chop or get your money back. So if you would also like to get some delicious chicken, ribeye, New York strip, scallops, bacon, all the above, all you need to do is go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use code Maria120 or click the link in the caption below to get $120 off across your first 4 boxes. So yes, you're going to get a deal on it. It's going to be risk-free. It's amazing. The meat is so good and so convenient. Go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use code Maria120 or click the link in the caption below to get $120 off your first 4 boxes. And would you look at that, now the chicken is done. I took like a bite right out of the piece of chicken. It was so delicious. And so, well, we're going to shred this chicken up, but I'm actually going to get some corn started. So I'm just using the Bird's Eye fire roasted corn and just using the package instructions and cooking it in the oven. We're going to make a corn salsa out of it. I've been using this a couple times lately and it's really fantastic. So that way you don't have to grill your own corn or anything. Again, make it easy on yourself. I also think the corn salsa would taste good with like canned or frozen corn. So whatever you have will probably work just fine. And so you just want to shred up your chicken. I'm the glutton for punishment. I always just use 2 forks and kick myself for it because I don't want to dirty my bowl for the mixer. Like, honestly, that's it. I don't want to dirty the mixer bowl or take out the hand mixer. It like seemed lazy, but then it's not lazy. It's a whole thing. So either way, you can use your mixer bowl, you can use your hand mixer, or you can shred with a fork. And then we are going to make this even more flavorful by adding 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, and 2 teaspoons of chili powder. And this really just brings that extra flavor that you need in this chicken, and it's perfect. And then the corn is done, and at that point, you just want to let it cool off because you don't want actual hot corn in it. But for some reason, the package instructions, like, you do need to cook this corn in order for it to be, proper. You want to make sure that you use proper food stuff. That's important. So I have a parchment lined baking sheet here, and then I have my tortilla shells, and I'm just actually spraying this with olive oil spray, but you could also just like rub some olive oil on it. And then, they're tacos, so just go ham on the cheese. I like to put a lot of cheese on, make them super ooey gooey. I use shredded cheddar, but you could use like Monterey Jack, or you could use Mexican blend. Whatever you have is totally fine. And then we're going to put the chicken in there. I actually ended up with a little bit of extra chicken, so it kind of probably depends on how many tortilla shells you have and how you're kind of filling your thing up. But just as much chicken as you can kind of fit in there. You're going to make these kind of nice full tacos. And then we're going to fold the tortillas over. Now, I used they're like handmade tortillas, so they're a little bit thicker than what I'm used to for the corn tortillas. And it was really difficult to get them to turn, even though I had microwaved the tortilla shells beforehand. I think I forgot to mention that, but 30 seconds you want to microwave your corn tortilla shells so that they are more pliable. But the problem with these was they were just too thick. So I ended up using a couple toothpicks. So if you run into that problem and you're having trouble getting your tortillas to kind of stay down for the oven, then just use a couple toothpicks and kind of like cross push them through both sides. And then we're going to bake this at 425 degrees for about 8 minutes. And while those cook, it's the perfect time to make up the salsa and the crema that goes with this. So it's like an avocado crema and then a salsa. And I think you might be like, wow, like 2 whole sauces, like this is a lot for a weeknight dinner. But honestly, it's really, really easy because the salsa is just 3 ingredients and so flavorful. So you want a half a cup of chopped cilantro and then 2 scallions chopped, just added to that fire roasted corn. And that's it. You can just put it in the refrigerator and it'll cool down and it's going to be amazing. Like that flavor is all you need. And then for the crema, it's 2 ingredients. So just 2 avocados, pitted and peeled, and you put that in like a food processor. I have like a mini hand one, and then add the juice of a lime. And it makes like, I've never put avocado in the food processor before I tried this. And I was like, this is incredible. I'm always going to do this. It makes this such a smooth sauce. And with the lime, plenty of flavor. So you combine all those things and you put that on the taco with the barbecue. It's out of this world. And yeah, it's that easy. After 8 minutes, you have both your sauces ready to go. And then you just need to flip the tacos. I took out all the toothpicks, I flipped them over, and then I cooked them for another 5 minutes. And that's it. They're done. They are crispy, cheesy. There's so much flavor in the chicken. And then you just top it with that homemade corn salsa and that avocado lime crema. And it feels like you're at a fancy taco shop. And you can't believe you made these on a weeknight. Are you kidding me? So simple. Using that crock pot like a diva. So this next one is also another slow cooker one. We've got orange chicken, and this is better than the restaurant kind of thing. And I was encouraged to make this because one thing is I just wanted to have some orange chicken. Like, it sounded really good. And another thing is that I had some marmalade left over from a like orange ground beef recipe that I made. It's on the website, and I'll put it in my description box below. But I want to use the rest of the marmalade. So I'm like, what are we going to do? So now I have 2 recipes I can use marmalade for, both fantastic. So it's a win-win, especially if you have leftover marmalade from something. I'm always like, what are you going to do with this? Now you know what to do. We're going to make orange chicken. So I've got a couple pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and you just want to cut those into cubes. And I did finally get some Ziploc bags. So I've got my trusty bag holder and Ziploc bag here. And we're going to put the chicken here because we're going to coat it in cornstarch. And this is like the absolute best way to do this. You want to put 1/3 a cup of cornstarch and then 1/2 teaspoon of salt and pepper. And that's it. We're just going to kind of coat that chicken in the cornstarch and a little salt and pepper. And that's going to be that for that chicken. Now for the sauce, you want a cup of marmalade, 1/4 cup of soy sauce, a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, and 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then a teaspoon of sesame oil. Then you just want to spray down your slow cooker with the cooking spray and then pour in that chicken. I don't know about you, but like cornstarch and chicken gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, it makes my skin... You can comment below if you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's the feeling of the cornstarch. It tastes delicious. It's fine once it's cooked, but it's just the feeling of cornstarch. It just gives me goosebumps. And so you want to pour the sauce over, and we're going to cook on low for 3 hours. You may need to go longer depending on your crock pot. Mine just cooks pretty fast, always has. It's just a regular crock pot brand, so I figure these days everyone's kind of like that. You do want to make sure your chicken's cooked all the way through. And then I had a couple of cups of broccoli. I just microwaved it according to package instructions and then added it in there. And I found that that was a great way to kind of cover the chicken in the sauce. And if you look at this, like, this looks like restaurant chicken, and it tastes like it too. It's so good, but without like that deep fry flavor that you get, which I prefer it not to have. I just put a little bit of sesame seeds over this and had some rice with it. It was actually like great meal prep and so delicious. So I hope you love these recipes and try them out. If you're still looking for more inspiration, please click on this next video because I have 14 spring recipes for you.